Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift Worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift Worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift Worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since, and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Now, good evening from the south coast of the UK. Welcome along to another episode of the Zwift Academy Run Orientation class. This is the second time we've done this. It's a comedy workout with some 20-second intervals for your delectation. Victoria's going to run it. I am resting my legs this week. Hello to everyone watching on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. We're following Twitch chat, YouTube chat and Facebook chat if you want to say hello. Victoria is about to get going in 3, 2, 1 and away they go. 8.6 kilometres an hour for Victoria to start with. Right, so Victoria says, we're not looking at this as a workout, we're looking at it as a showcase for what Zwift can do for people who are new to Zwift running, who are thinking of joining the Zwift Academy Run programme. So welcome along. We're going to talk you through it as we go. Hello to all the regulars who are watching: Sebastian Vogt, John Farrell, Amy Green. John Farrell has a problem with his workout. He says, this is the second time my splits say run at 500 miles per hour. I'll tell you what's going on there, John. There is a Zwift bug that sometimes, unfortunately, converts what should be a time-based workout into a distance-based workout. And so that instead of being 500 miles per hour, that should possibly read 5 minutes or something, or 500 meters rather than 500 miles per hour. Something like that. There is a Zwift bug, which means that it does sometimes misinterpret the file that is uploaded to the Zwift servers, and it will read it as a speed-based workout rather than a distance-based workout, or something along those lines anyway. John Heaton says, hi Victoria, hi Stephen, hello there. So we're just on for half an hour today. We did the 500 this morning, the Film My Run 500 this morning. That was about 45 minutes, and we're on this evening for, this is 27 minutes exactly, this run. We have an 8-minute warm-up, and then we have some very short intervals of 20 seconds, and there's some walking in there as well. So it's basically just for people who are new to Zwift running or who are unsure about what a workout consists of. So if you've never done a structured workout before, this will give you an idea of what's involved. So to look at the left-hand side of the screen and to take note of the fact that you need to increase or decrease the speed of the treadmill. Sometimes it'll ask you to put the incline up on the treadmill. Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, Victoria. It must have been written with the treadmill in mind, because he does ask to increase the elevation. However, the 20 seconds is not doable really on a treadmill. You can't do 20 seconds on a treadmill, but it takes 20 seconds for the treadmill to speed up. Anyway, never mind that. We're just getting into it. We're going to see what happens. Victoria's going to run it as written. So this will be Victoria's second interval session of the week, although we're not really classing it as a hard workout, because Victoria's heart rate isn't going to get into zone 5 with this workout. If you do have any questions, do drop them in the chat. And first of all, before we do anything else, look at camera 2. Look at camera 2, everybody. I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Merry Mince Pie Day. I am eating a mince pie with my coffee this evening. Thank you very much. We've already opened the second packet of mince pies. We've been through a packet already. We're on to the second packet of mince pies, and after this one that I'm about to eat, there will only be one mince pie left. So Victoria will have to buy some more at the weekend. Amy says she doesn't like mince pies. Then I don't know why we're friends, Amy. Why is that? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. No, actually, mince is a very acquired taste for some people. Some people do not like it at all. I have to say, I'm not a massive fan of Christmas cake. Christmas pudding, I don't mind. Mince pies, I don't mind. But fruit cake... and what's that ingredient that goes into fruit cake that isn't fruit? The other thing. No, like hard stuff. Is it peel? Oh, it's the peel I don't like. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of Christmas cake. Right, Jeff Partridge is asking why I'm eating mince pies because it's only September. Because we can, Jeff, and because September is literally 3 months. It's only 3 months to Christmas. That's like 12 weeks. Welcome to Christmas mince pies. Victoria is gradually increasing the treadmill speed, 9.4 kilometers per hour now, and we are. I can't see how many minutes we are into the warm-up. 5 minutes, just over 5 minutes into the warm-up. Right, Jeff Partridge says, how can you like mince pies and not like Christmas cake? Virtually the same ingredient. It is, but Christmas cake is dry. The filling of a mince pie seems wetter, and also the filling of a mince pie is surrounded by lovely pastry, soft, sweet, chewy pastry, and then Christmas cake is all. Yeah, Victoria's right. Christmas cake's heavy. Candy peel, says Philip Trigg. Well, I thought, isn't it orange peel? Do you put orange peel in it or something? Oh, right. I see. Oh, okay. I see. I understand. I don't know anything about cooking. Yeah. Amy says, I don't like Christmas pudding or Christmas cake either. Okay, so you have a definite hatred of the fruit cake style mix. The spices and the peel and the raisins or whatever it is else that you put in it. Oh, no, Matt. No, you're wrong. No. Is it Matt? I think it's Matt, isn't it, from Nottingham? Yeah. Says, Stephen, are they last year's mince pies? No, definitely not. If you were around watching last year, we did eat the last of the mince pies, and it was a very sad day during one of the Eddie Izzard marathons in January. If you don't know about this, in January, every single day in January, Eddie Izzard ran on Zwift and did a marathon on Zwift, and many of those days, I did a marathon on Zwift as well with Eddie, or we just ran some of the miles with Eddie. And on one of those days, towards the end of January, we finally ran out of mince pies because we were going quite slowly for the marathons. You know, we were doing 6-hour marathons, so there was time to eat, there was time to chat, there was time to drink coffee, and so I had regular warm mince pies with cream as well. And yeah, we ran out of them, so they're definitely not last year's mince pies, Matt. No. All right. Okay, Jeff's giving us an education, and he's quite right. Christmas cake is not dry if you feed it booze like you're supposed to. I suppose I could feed it cream. I like a lot of cream. Oh, here we go with the first little interval. This is 20-second interval at 12.5 kilometres per hour. And then when we reach the arch, or when Victoria gets to the arch, she's going to increase the speed a little bit. So I suppose it is actually a 40-second interval. So we're up to 13.8 now for another 20 seconds. So, and then back down to 9.9 kilometers per hour for 1 minute 20 seconds. So that's the kind of thing you can expect when you run a structured workout on Zwift, following one of the training plans or the Zwift Academy run program. You load in the workout and you follow the instructions, and when you're doing interval sessions or structured workouts like this, you'll often find you get fast, slow, and they are intervals or reps. Oh no, I've got Jeff Partridge on my back already. Anyway, intervals, reps, you do repetitions of fast, slow, and that's what Victoria is demonstrating here. And yeah, what you need to remember, of course, is if this looks too fast for you or too slow, this is set at Victoria's own paces. So when you sign up to Zwift, when you go into settings, you can set your paces for your 5k time, your 10k time, your marathon time, and the Zwift workouts are programmed based on your own settings. So the speed will be something that you can do, or at least is challenging for you to do. But it's not going to be too hard, and it's not going to be too easy, ideally. Amy says 13 kilometers an hour for me. I don't run that fast. Matt says different to fartlek, right? Well, now fartlek, it's got a K on the end. Fartlek, it's a Swedish word meaning speed play. Now, fartlek, if you've heard of the word fartlek before, you often think of that as like just running between, say, if you're on the street, just running between lampposts, or running between hedgerows, or running between blocks on the street. And essentially, a fartlek is an interval. They're essentially the same thing. It's just that fartlek is the word that the Swedish have kind of use for playing with your speed when you run. So sometimes running fast, sometimes running slower. In a structured workout, it's a little bit more organised. So you will have fartlek is a bit more ad hoc. You can kind of make it up as you go along. Whereas an interval session, a proper interval, structured interval session, will have set paces that you need to go to complete the session correctly. Which was what? Sorry, I'm just listening to Victoria. Right, okay, so apparently there was a message on screen from Terence, the coach who has written these workouts. Yeah, Jeff Partridge says fartlek is more random. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Which said, that Terence has written this workout, and Terence has said that this year they are introducing walks for some of the breaks rather than gentle jogging. And it says you can choose whether you want to walk or whether you want to do a gentle jog in between. In between the set prescribed paces. So you'll notice on the screen now it says 2 minutes at walk. So there's no set pace there. You could do that at any speed you want to. You can run it, you can walk it, whatever you like, just 2 minutes worth of doing that. And then you get into the next section, which is 4 minutes at 11.3 for Victoria. Jeff Partridge says, how are the DOMs? If you don't know what DOMs are, it's delayed onset muscle soreness. You might notice that when you do a hard run, if you do a hard run, especially a long run, often the day after, your legs feel fine. And then the day after that is when your legs really hurt. And that's exactly what happened to me after the Ben Nevis Ultra, over the weekend. So I ran on Sunday, and then I woke up on Monday morning and my legs felt absolutely fine, and I got in the car and I drove all the way home. Woke up on Tuesday morning, my legs were absolutely wrecked and I could not move hardly. Today yesterday I was a lot better, and today I felt like I could run again, but I've decided to do something I don't often do and actually take a week off. So I'm not going to run at all until, if I can manage it, until Monday. Just give my legs a big chance to recover, because I don't have any races that I really need to train for coming up until next year now. So no more big races. I mean, we've got the Paris Marathon, but I'm pacing Victoria around that. So, yeah, my legs feel much better today, but I'm not going to run until Monday. Paul Deering. Yeah, well, we think... Paul Deering says, I cannot imagine 10 hours in a car after an ultra run. Well, it was the day after, so I went to bed, got up, and then drove 10 hours. But we do think me sitting in the car for 10 hours is what made my legs feel particularly bad the day after. Matt's 9-year-old daughter Emily is watching, feeling inspired. She says, good running, Victoria. So hello, Emily. Thanks for watching. Nice to have you with us. So Victoria is training for a marathon. It'll be... how many marathons have you done now, Victoria? So it'll be Victoria's 10th marathon or 11th? 11th. It'll be Victoria's 11th marathon. And 4th road marathon. She'll have done Paris 3 times. Right, this one will be the 3rd. Victoria started running about 6 or 7 years ago. 6 years ago now. after having some major operations on her legs, on her knees. She used to have quite bad arthritis and rubbing in her knees. And she's had 2 operations, well, actually more than 2, but both her knees have been realigned. And she couldn't run before that at all. And now she's had her knees realigned. She's been running 6 years now. Oh, Jeff, don't tell me that. Right, Jeff Partridge has just said there are 30 extra Autumn 100 places being released on Saturday. I can't afford it, Jeff. I haven't got the money. I would absolutely love to do the Autumn 100. That's one of the ones, definitely one of the Centurion races that I've never done that I really must get done. But I can't afford to do it, Jeff. Don't tempt me with it again. And yeah, Amy Green says, I was going to do the Liverpool Marathon, the Liverpool Rock and Roll Marathon next year. But yeah, they've cancelled it. They've stopped them. There are no more rock and roll marathons in Liverpool. I saw a post on Facebook the other day saying they've pulled out and they're not going to do any more. So the last one is, I think it's this weekend, or it's coming up soon anyway. Paul Carter, hello to you. Yeah, long time no see for you as well. He says, hope you're both well. Happy days. It is happy days. We're all good. Thank you very much, Paul. Looking forward to getting to Paris in a couple of weeks' time to run the marathon. And I've just come back from Scotland. None of us have got COVID. We're all very well. Everything's cool. And we're in the middle of the Zwift Academy Run orientation class, which Victoria is running. It's the second time we've done this. And it's an interval workout written by coach Terence Mahone, who has written all the workouts in this year's Zwift Academy Run series, the Zwift Academy Run program, which starts on the 4th of October. So if you're interested in doing something like this, it's basically training you. The program itself is essentially training you to run a 5K. So it's like a couch to 5K. Right, Victoria says she's much more happy now doing it the second time round, now that she's not imagining that it should be like a proper workout. Now that she's realised that she's accepted that it's kind of a showcase of what you can do with Zwift workouts, then she's quite happy now. She didn't enjoy it the last time we did it, and she thought it was a bit of a rubbish workout. Right, Jeff Partridge says, I did the very first Rock and Roll Liverpool Marathon and it was rubbish. So, Amy, you're not missing out on anything. Don't worry. Okay, what have we missed out, Victoria? Or a long workout. Yeah, no, we did that with one of the other... what did we do that with? There was another set of workouts that we did with Zwift not long ago where you had the option of a short workout or a long workout, and they're continuing that with the Run Academy. So you get the option of doing a short workout or the long workout. It doesn't matter which workout you do, you will still be able to qualify for the run team at the end. If that's something that you're interested in, is qualifying for the Zwift team at the end of this. The Zwift team from 2020 are currently in Berlin, and they will be running the Berlin Marathon on Sunday. So that's your prize. If you get chosen by Zwift HQ from the Run Academy this year, you will get to run the Berlin Marathon next year, or we think it's the Berlin Marathon, and a load of prizes as well, including a £5,000 Woodway treadmill will be on offer to the people chosen. So it's definitely worth taking part. Alex Hastings, hello Alex. Right, Alex was right with me at the start of the Ben Nevis Ultra. He's still feeling DOMS after 4 days. He says, have you run yet? Right, Alex, though, have you run yet? Sorry, did you finish? Because I didn't. I didn't finish, don't you? I got timed out with 90 seconds to go. 90 seconds after the cut-off at checkpoint 8. I have sore legs, but they're much better than they were. I had really sore legs on Tuesday, quite sore legs yesterday, and much better today. Right, Kim says she wants a treadmill. She wants the Woodway treadmill, but she says she's too slow for it. Kim, it's not about speed. It's a real mixed bag of that. Yeah, they'll have some people who are quick, but they also choose people who are not fast. And it's about improvement that you can make, but it's also about who you are, the kind of story you have, the kind of personality you have. But most importantly, it's about the work ethic that you put in, the work that you put in the program to complete the program. Amy Green is doing London Marathon virtually, so that'll be all right. Right, Victoria is now running for 1 minute at 13.4, but she's also on 3% incline. Once she's done this, it'll be 6-minute cool down, and that'll be the end of the session. Matt in Nottingham says, Stephen, when you do a 5k, do you like to run even pace? Negative splits seem to be advised, but this may mean you haven't emptied your tank. Thoughts? Okay, so are we talking about going all out to do a marathon, a 5k PB? If you are, it's even splits all the way. So in any race, whether it's a 5k, a 10k, half marathon, marathon or ultra, the ideal way to run is exactly the same kilometre splits for the entire race. Now, obviously there are caveats to that. So if you're running an ultra with hills, there's no way that you're going to be able to do that. So you would split it up differently. But with a flat road marathon, a flat 10k, a flat road 5k or track 5k, the idea would be that you would run every split exactly the same. And then if you've got anything left in the tank at the end, in the last kilometre, you go push as hard as you can. But if you've trained correctly and if you've planned your race correctly, your pace for each kilometre should put you right on the limit by the time you finish that race. So if you're trying for a PB or if you're trying for a really fast time in a 5k, even splits all the way, and then if you've got anything left in the tank at all at the end, push even harder. The idea with negative splits, now see that's an ideal. That's a kind of how do I put this? It isn't the ideal way to run. But if you do a negative split, say let's talk about a marathon. If you do a negative split in a marathon, that is seen as ideal, because what you do is you do even splits for the first half and then even splits for the second half. But when you get into the last 5 or even the last 10k or the last 5k, if you feel you've got the strength, then you speed up. And if you can speed up, then that would be a negative split, and that would be awesome. And that would look really nice on Strava, and you can go bragging to your friends that you've done a negative split. But that's all that a negative split is. It's basically just speeding up towards the end of the run, because you have paced it ideally. You've paced it so well that you still got a little bit left in the tank to push right at the end. Oh my God, Alex, that's amazing. Right, Alex finished in 9 hours, 22 minutes. He finished 18th overall. We're back to the Ben Nevis Ultra that I didn't finish the other day, so I'm being put right in my place here. He finished in 9 hours, 22 minutes. It's 18th overall. Over the moon with it, as it was my first Ultra. Wow. I heard you didn't finish, but I'm sure you'll be back to get it done next year. Yeah, I definitely will be back, and I will get it done next year, but I will not be doing 9 hours 22. My dream time would be 10 hours, but I think more 11 to 11 and a half is more realistic for me. But 18th position, Alex, is absolutely fantastic. Well done. That's brilliant. Really, really good. Yeah, but I'll be back next year, and I will. I could have finished this year if I'd had my head screwed on. I didn't pay enough attention to the last cut-off. I thought I had enough time. I was too long down the hill, I took too long to come down off Ben Nevis because I was relaxed, because I thought I had loads of time. I took too long at the aid station at the bottom of Ben Nevis because I thought I had too much time. And then as I was running, I realised I was running out of time fast, and I sprinted as hard as I could, and I missed it by 90 seconds. But there we are. We live and learn. It is my fault, and I will finish it next year. Amy Green says she did this workout last night and it does feel better today. So that's another endorsement of the workout today. So we're happier with this workout today. We didn't like it the other day, and Amy thought it wasn't as good yesterday as it is today. The reason Victoria didn't like it was because she was expecting a hard workout. Now that she's accepted it's not going to be a hard workout, and it's more, like we said, a showcase for what workouts can do on Zwift, then she's happier. Kim Salt says, I hope this year the Academy is based on 5k pace and not 10k as it was mistakenly done last year. We think it is, Kim, but we'll find out when the actual workouts drop onto our systems in a few days' time. Victoria is hoping it's based on her realistic times rather than me changing her times in settings to something more difficult, which is what I did last year. Yeah, I made Victoria work harder than she should have last year. She wasn't happy with me. Right, we're coming to the end. 40 seconds to the finish. And well done to Victoria. I'm taking the week off this week. I very rarely take a week off of running, but no big races until next year now, so there's no reason to kill myself and get back into running too quickly. I can just lose a bit of fitness, take a little bit of time off, and recover. And then we'll get into the Zwift Run Academy next month. I will be running, but until next month, it is, of course, mince pie time. So happy mince pie day to everyone. I've only taken one, in the whole half an hour, I've only taken one bite out of the mince pie. It's time for another one. Yep. So, Zwift Run Academy starts on the 4th of October. Excuse me, speaking with my mouth full. But get yourselves signed up on the Zwift Academy, on the Zwift app, and you will be in the Zwift Academy from the 4th of October with a chance to win a Woodway treadmill and the chance to go and run with the Zwift team over in Berlin for the Berlin Marathon. If that is the one that they choose, we think it probably will be, but we're not 100% sure. Right. Jeff, are you running the Autumn 100 or not? Because I need to find a pot of money at the end of the rainbow to be able to pay for doing it, because I haven't got any money. Not after Chamonix, Scotland, and Spain in July. All those trips have basically bankrupted me, and I owe Victoria about £1 billion worth of money as well. So yeah, I don't really think I can do. Right, hang on a second. He says it depends if I'm quick enough on Saturday. Oh, okay, yeah, because it's going to be a bit of a rush to get those 30 places on Saturday, isn't it? I fear that I won't be joining you. Matt says, great job, Victoria. Enjoy the rest of your break, Stephen. Thank you very much, Matt. Take care. And that's it from us. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for all the chat. It's been nice, good chat on Facebook and YouTube. And well done to Victoria and everyone who took part in the Zwift orientation class today. Remember, 4th of October, sign up and you'll get to do all those workouts that Terence Mahone has programmed. Go and look also on the Zwift Runners Facebook page and you'll see some videos of the training that the guys in Berlin have been doing to get to the Berlin Marathon. The team that was chosen from last year's Zwift Academy run program are over in Berlin and they are ready to run the Berlin Marathon. Okay, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Take care and we will see you tomorrow. We will do something tomorrow. Haven't quite worked out what it will be yet, but we will do something tomorrow.
Bye.